Hi there. Hey, so Trump's parade was dog shit. Trump's birthday party, and they're claiming 250,000 people showed up to it. Just the most bold-faced lie. I actually think Donald Trump selected that number because it was the 250th anniversary of the Army. Not even kidding, bro. There were 6,700 soldiers there. I think there were more soldiers than people. We've got some clips of it. Unreal. And that parade was dog shit. If you were here for the live stream last night, we watched the entire thing. It was pathetic. There's nobody in the crowd. Our soldiers don't know how to march. The tanks were squeaking. It was unbelievable. Marco Rubio was yawning during it. It's ridiculous. And then we're going to do some live updates from Iran and Israel. Turns out Israel put together some plan to assassinate the Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, and Trump vetoed it, which is hilarious because he greenlit bombing them in the first place. What else? And then we're going to cover the No Kings protest and the terrorist attacks that happened yesterday. There were a couple. There's still an assassin at large. He was like the CEO of some Praetorian Guard mercenary company. Just the most fed shit I've ever fucking heard. And he assassinated a Democratic lawmaker, the leader of the House, I think, in Minnesota, and her husband. And then he went to another house and he shot another Democratic lawmaker and his wife. Those two survived, but the first two did actually die. Then there was a second terrorist attack. Some MAGA chud got in his SUV and tried to ram through a protest. And then there was a third terrorist attack. Some MAGA chud got his gun and tried to shoot up a protest, I think, in Salt Lake City. So just MAGA is a terrorist organization. I need you to understand MAGA is a death cult. They don't care about life. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to cover all of this. And also, JD, we're going to war with Iran. They're ordering pizza to the White House while our soldiers are eating lobster. Never a good sign. What else? Trump says we're probably going to go to war with Iran. JD Vance says we would only send you to war if we had to. It's just chaos. I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti Vod. If you're new here, I'm just a douchebag from New York with a major in history and a minor in political science. I really want to start a family, but I refuse to raise children in a fascist regime. There's nothing I hate more than a fucking fascist, and we're in this fight together, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. But before we do, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support me financially, you can become a member for $5. You can become a patron on Patreon for $5. You could buy Valenti Videos merch down below, and you can use the 40% off discount code for the Vantage subscription on Ground News, also located down below, and then you could just donate to the channel. This fucking chair is so goddamn loose, it makes me fucking upset. But anyway, I want you to hear this little clip from JD Vance giving his speech at that fascist birthday party for King Doland. Just listen to what he says here, because I find this particularly poignant.
And so to our soldiers, we're so proud of you, and let me tell you that the way that we honor and respect you is, number one, we never ask you to go to war unless you absolutely have to.
I feel like that's not something you would say in peace times. That's not something you would say if the future is looking peaceful. That's something you would say if the future is looking full of war, right? And then on top of that, I want to show you this. Luigi, stop it. This is the White House director. What is he? The White House Director of Communications. And he's posted this video. Just the bullshit when King Doland and Queen Melania showed up for the fascist birthday party, and he goes, "Amazing! Despite the threat of rain, over 250,000 patriots showed up to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army." 250,000. Really? 250,000? Because there's nobody here, bro. Do you see this shit? And you're gonna claim 250,000 people showed up for this? Are you out of your fucking mind? If you're gonna lie, at least say like 50,000 people showed up. That'd be harder to disprove. But you weren't even close to 100K, let alone double that, plus another 50. That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever fucking heard. Ridiculous. Look at this. Bro, I've been to Disney World when it's more crowded than this. Brother, the one thing I'm happy about is that they all got together so I could know in the future to not hang out with these people. Like, I wish there was like a fucking list of everyone's faces and names so I knew, okay, these are the people I don't want to hang out with because they unironically went to Trump's 250th birthday party because he's a fucking vampire. Anyway, we got some more clips and footage I want to show you. Here's, so this is the clip we just saw. Look at the way that they're marching, bro. This is what I was saying during the parade yesterday. Either these are untrained cadets, extras that they got off backstage.com, or these people genuinely wanted to show Donald Trump that they don't give a fuck about being here and they don't want to be here. Because take note of their arms and legs. Zero cohesion. And this is coming from somebody who, like, dude, my dad was a Vietnam veteran. My uncle fought in Korea. My grandfather fought in the Pacific. My other grandfather stormed Normandy. Like, I come from a military family. I have a lot of respect for our soldiers, but this looks weak. It is giving weak, failing, declining empire. It is giving, we don't give a fuck about our soldiers, but we do give a fuck about Lockheed Martin. So fucking pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. There's more security than attendees,
yeah,
bro.
Absolutely. And you know,
look at that fucking bleacher.
Citizen soldier and why the skills that you learn in the army.
250,000 people, right, Donnie? Right, Dementia Donnie? 250,000
so
people came to your birthday, right?
In everyday life, especially, you know, learning how to be
Sponsored by Coinbase, sponsored by Lockheed, sponsored by Palantir. You know, meanwhile, no King's Day. No King's D-Day. Jesus Christ. No, that's a different timeline entirely. No King's Day. Oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? Oh yeah, this is January 6th. Yeah, by the way, not an insurrection. Non-violent. Non-violent, by the way. But I gotta see the size of these No King's Day. No King's Day crowd size. Oh my God, look at this fucking shit. But dude, millions. Apparently, I think it was like 5 or 6 million people. It might have been the largest protest in American history. There it is. This is in DC, bro. This is the crowd Trump wanted for his birthday. But he'll never fucking get... What is this guy doing, bro? Please tell me you're inside. Every single person here is protesting the fat orange fucking Hitler in the Oval Office. 12 million people apparently came to the protest. 12 million fucking people. Let's see. How many people protested No King's Day? Millions. There were 2,000 fucking cities with protests, bro. 2,000 cities. Just an unbelievable, over 5 million turned out across the country. That's probably low estimates. But let's move on to some of the terrorist attacks that happened yesterday. So the assassin in Minnesota is still at large, but the police found his vehicle, and they found, I think, a second vehicle.
Marriage is a real opportunity.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's an ad. Go fuck yourself. Police say they found a second vehicle belonging to suspect Vance Bolter in Sibley County, Minnesota, and asked residents to be vigilant as officers search the area. A manhunt is underway for Belter in connection with yesterday's killing of state lawmaker and the shooting of another. Lawmakers he killed, State Representative Melissa Hortman, the top Democrat in the Minnesota House, and her husband were shot dead in an apparent, quote, politically motivated assassination. Governor Tim Walz said. Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were shot by the same person. This couple survived the attack. The suspect impersonated an officer. A man dressed like a police officer came out of Hortman's home and shot at the police before escaping. So he had a shootout with the cops and got away. He had been driving what appeared to be a police car. Investigators found a hit list of nearly 70 names in the suspect's car, mostly naming Democrats or figures with ties to abortion rights. Now, here's the craziest thing. This is a MAGA terrorist. But the right wing, Charlie Kirk, Elon Musk, Matt Walsh, all of the bootlicking, incel, cultist, bottom of the barrel scum in our society, they're claiming this was a leftist who had a hit list with Governor Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, targeted abortion right. Listen, I need to say this clearly. If you think that this assassin is a leftist, you are unironically dumber than a dog. You are dumber than a dog. I could convince you to go fetch a bone. Abso-fucking-lutely, you're a dumb fuck, okay? I can't even go any further on this, okay? And then there was the car drives through protest. We've got this fucking guy. Man drives into crowd of protesters at the No King's Day. I think they've got a picture of him.
One of the reasons why there are endless wars is that...
No, this is live. But here's what he fucking looks like. Typical fucking MAGA supporter. They all look the fucking same. SUV drives through protesters in Culpeper, Virginia? Police say. Man was arrested Saturday in Culpeper, Virginia after a SUV drove through a crowd following a No Kings demonstration there, the town police said. Preliminary investigation indicated that at least one person was struck, but in a statement on Saturday afternoon, police said the person had not been located. No injuries had been reported or law enforcement. Excuse me. Unfucking believable. Okay? And then there was another one. Shooting at No King's Day protest. One person critically injured, 3 in custody after shooting as 10,000 march in Salt Lake City during No King's Day protest. Salt Lake City police say they have taken 3 people into custody after a shooting. The person shot on Saturday night has died, by the way. The injured man was seen collapse on State Street. Emergency responders providing care. The motive for the shooting led up to an investigation. It's because they're Democrats and MAGA are all terrorists, every single one of them. That is the reason why. They are inferior. By the way, if you still support Donald Trump, you are intellectually inferior and you are an oxygen thief. Just never fucking vote again, okay? We've got a little bit of coverage from ABC.
Turn to President Trump's military.
It's a little mix of the parade and the protests.
Nationwide protests against his administration's policies. We have team coverage this morning. ABC's Alex Stone is live in Los Angeles. But we're going to start with ABC's Alex Perche, who joins us from Washington. Good morning to you, Alex. You were out there amidst all those protesters.
That's right, Janae. And it was quite the contrast between what played out on the National Mall, a parade of pomp and circumstance, and the many protests and some unrest across the country.
From Atlanta to Arlington to Albuquerque to Anaheim, 2,000 separate demonstrations.
Bro, the fucking LAPD are so out of line. I was watching footage of the LAPD just fucking non-stop firing rubber bullets at people who were standing perfectly still holding signs. The LAPD is a fucking shit show, dog.
In all 50 states, so-called No King's Day protest voicing opposition to President Trump's agenda and a joint birthday celebration he threw for the U.S. Army.
Unbelievable dichotomy.
Many protests peaceful, but some erupting into chaos. Gunfire breaking out during a demonstration in Salt Lake City, Utah. Police rushing to help one victim in critical condition. Authorities taking one man into custody and saying there are no other known threats to the community. a motive under investigation.
All MAGA voters are a threat to your community. They are the most violent fascist rats in our society. If you still support Donald Trump, abandon ship, stop being a Nazi, join the OAL, the only Americans left. Genuinely, the right-wing MAGA ideology is so dangerous and regressive. We need to leave it behind in the dust, dead, as the rest of us move on and build society. Because if we allow this sort of shit to continue, to evolve, we will unironically go back in time. We will go back in time.
In Los Angeles, police used flashbangs to break up crowds outside federal buildings downtown. Protesters seen running to safety. Demonstrations in Minnesota canceled after that deadly targeted shooting of Democratic lawmakers. Authorities finding flyers for the protests in the suspect's vehicle. And in Charlotte, 2 protests.
Also, by the way, regarding the police impersonating assassin, what the fuck did you think would happen when you allowed these ICE terrorists to wear masks, no badges, no identification, and just black bag kidnap people off the streets, brother? This isn't even the first time we've seen this. Somebody impersonated an ICE officer and kidnapped a woman already. This shit is it's a response. It is a consequence of you allowing unconstitutional, illegal kidnappings from the ICE terrorist Gestapo that will be held responsible once we get to prosecuting them.
Protesters arrested for assaulting officers. Meanwhile, a stark contrast for President Trump's night filled with pomp and circumstance in Washington. Commemorating the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army and his 79th birthday, culminating in a military parade along the National Mall, the first of its kind since 1991. The military estimates Saturday's parade cost as much as $45 million in taxpayer money.
$45 million for this fucking role-playing event put on by the Orange Hitler. Thanks, King Doland, you fucking fat idiot.
The country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too.
Happy Father's Day, Nelson.
But just outside the perimeter, thousands gathered to protest.
More than 1,000 people gathered at Logan Circle, now marching down towards the White House. But they felt passionate about being specifically here in D.C. peacefully to make sure that the White House hears their opposition.
President Trump told reporters last week that protesters would be met with heavy force.
I am here today, here in D.C., is because he threatened us. Like, how crazy?
Roseanne Rodriguez is a veteran who served with the 82nd Airborne.
I have a right protected by the Constitution that says I can be out here.
Now, the White House later attempted to clarify, saying the president...
Oh, Callie Alley's one of those dumb motherfuckers who thinks that the MAGA-supporting, Trump-voting terrorist who had a hit list with Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar and then went and killed 2 Democrat lawmakers because of their pro-abortion rights. This dumb fuck thinks that... Dude, if you think that's a leftist, I have a bridge to sell you in Kenya. You are unironically dumber than a fucking amoeba, you stupid fucking idiot.
And supports peaceful protests, but his comments were motivating factors for some to cancel their D.C. events. Notably, there were no reported
He's an old hate watcher who came back. Welcome back, you beta bitch. Chat, boo this woman. Boo this woman.
Alex Brochet, thank you. And one of the larger protests was in Los Angeles, where marchers, also angry over Trump immigration policies, clashed with police. ABC's Alex Stone continues our team coverage. And Alex, you were there overnight when these demonstrations escalated.
Good morning. Yeah, we were right in the middle of all of it. And overnight, the LAPD battling back crowds. The crowds grew during the day.
This is why it's so important to immediately combat misinformation like that, because dumb motherfuckers across this nation just parrot the same talking points from Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk and go, "I thought he was a Democrat." Hey, dumb fuck, he's killing Democrats and he's still at large. And also, you stupid motherfuckers are cheering for it. You unironically support the death of these Democrat lawmakers because it got rid of the Democratic majority in Minnesota. You guys are fucking terrorists.
Peaceful early on in the day, and then they became more violent at night. All-day marchers made their way around the city. They were loud, but they were peaceful during the daytime. One estimate putting the crowd at 20,000 people filling the streets here. But the crowd really grew around the federal building, and at around 4 p.m., the LAPD saying officers were taking chunks of concrete, bottles, and rocks were being thrown at them. they moved in, clearing the streets. We were there as they were forcefully coming in, pushing back the crowds, using gas and less lethal rounds, firing them at protesters who would not leave. Late overnight, the LAPD again gained control of the streets around the federal building here. Once again, the curfew went into effect around 8 last night. And here at the federal building, Gio, this morning, the National Guard is here. The Marines have been out as well as they're protecting this building. Gio.
All right, Alex Stone.
We've got more for you, and also that same hate chatter just popped out the Israeli flag. Every single one of them is the same, bro. Why is it always that the martial law-loving, boot-licking fucking fools in our nation are all so beholden to Israel? Let me guess. You think that fucking Jesus Christ is going to open up the sky and the Messiah is going to return, and that you need to support Israel because the Messiah will only return once the Jews fully control all of greater Israel. Then you and the rest of the good old Christians will be stripped of your clothes and summoned up into the sky during the rapture, while us and the rest of the heathens have to fight alongside Jesus Christ and his fucking army of angels against the Antichrist and Satan's demons. Hey, dumb fuck, you probably believe that life is anime, bro. Why don't you go watch Attack on Titan? It's unironically better anime than the fucking Bible. Speaking of Israel and religion, okay, Trump vetoed an Israeli plan to kill Iran's supreme leader. So the terrorist Israelis literally wrote up a fucking plan to assassinate the leader of Iran, the fucking Ayatollah. Okay. Meanwhile, Trump is greenlighting them bombing the fuck out of Iran, but not greenlighting an assassination attempt. He's the most fucking hypocritical fool. Oh my God. All right. Associated Press. King Doland vetoed a plan presented by Israel to the United States to kill Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, according to U.S. official familiar with the matter. The Israelis informed that the Trump regime in recent days that they had developed a credible plan to kill Khamenei. After being briefed on the plan, the White House made clear to Israeli officials that Trump was opposed to the Israelis making the move, according to the official who was not authorized to comment on the sensitive matter and spoke on the condition of anonymity. Meanwhile, Trump says the U.S. could get involved in fighting between Israel and Iran. And just so you understand, U.S. forces are already involved. We already have U.S. forces trying to intercept these fucking Iranian rockets that are being sent over into Israel. We're already in the fight. Yemen's joining in the fight. All these nations, France, the UK, all these NATO nations are like, we will help Israel. So World War III has begun. Meanwhile, King Doland, when he was running for president, said, if Kamala Harris wins, she will start World War III. The one thing that I can say is I will prevent World War III. And now we're finding out that not only did King Doland say, no, don't assassinate the Ayatollah. Yes, green light, bomb Iran. Yeah, you can use our forces, but I don't know, maybe they're gonna go in. They're already in. So, to all of the MAGA voters, bro, what happened to your peaceful dove? What happened to your peaceful dove? By the way, that same hate chatter just said Asmongold is better than Valenti. That's all I need to know about. Go back to his chat where he wipes his fucking bloody gums on the wall and uses a dead rat as an alarm clock, brother. Also, there's this new invention called soap. You should probably check that out. If you enjoy watching Asmongold, I guarantee you have not lifted up your obese fat roll and scrubbed off the crunch in at least 2 months. Go take a shower, dog. Go take a shower. Anyway, let's watch this now. So we have some footage of Iran and Israel with their military attacks.
The new waves of attacks between Israel and Iran, the deaths and destruction mounting on both sides, and today's scheduled negotiations over Iran's nuclear program, also a casualty. ABC's Marcus Moore joins us live from Bat Yam, Israel. With
Bro, thank God I'm not on Asmongold's radar. I do not want to be on his fucking radar. I want to smell nice. I don't want to stink.
Yes, good morning, Marcus.
Janae, good morning to you. We are just south of Tel Aviv at the site where an Iranian missile landed on a residential building overnight, and you can see the damage. And also, crews have been urgently searching for 3 people who are said to be missing in that rubble. And Janae, we also learned overnight that several people died here, including children.
Overnight, Iran and Israel...
I'm going to say one last thing, and then mods, you can ban Kali Ali. Dude, you're literally a fan of a dude who wipes his blood smear on the walls and uses a dead rat as an alarm clock. You unironically are a fan of that guy. I can't save you. You're mentally disabled, bro. You're mentally disabled.
Trading more fire, both nations carrying out fresh waves of deadly attacks. In Israel, videos circulating online capturing this massive strike in the coastal town of Bat Yam. At least 6 people killed, including 2 children, and more than 100 wounded, according to Israel's emergency services. Here you can see the aftermath. First responders rushing to the scene, desperately searching for survivors amid the rubble. 3 residents still missing. Iran's barrage of dozens
Jesus
of
Christ,
missiles
they look
and drones,
like fucking shooting stars, bro. They look like shooting stars.
Seen soaring over Jordan towards Israel.
Oh my God.
And flying over Jerusalem. With sirens blaring from the north down to Tel Aviv. Israel's air defense system, including the Iron Dome, intercepting some of the aerial assault, like this Iranian drone.
Oh!
But several missiles evading the system, hitting their targets. Medics saying at least 4 people were killed and 14 injured in a direct hit on the Arab-Israeli town.
Meanwhile, fucking 900 injured in Iran and like over 120 dead.
Town of Tamra. Israel also intensifying its attacks. This massive fire raging at an Iranian oil depot after an Israeli strike, according to the Iranian Ministry of Oil. Images throughout Tehran capturing the area in flames. And these new satellite images showing the before and after of this Revolutionary Guard military facility hit by the Israeli assault. Israel claims it has killed at least 9 Iranian nuclear scientists since its surprise operation earlier this week. Iran saying at least 78 people have been killed. The death toll climbing on both sides with no immediate signs of peace.
And then I'm pretty sure Netanyahu just spoke live. Thank you for the $5 donation. Where is he? Yeah, here he is. Or no, not live. He was speaking with Brett Breyer, Fox News host.
The decision 600.
He is hoping. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome back to Special Report.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Brett.
By the way, this guy is so fucking afraid that he's hiding in Greece.
Start at the beginning. Why did you launch this operation now?
Because we were facing an imminent threat, a dual existential threat. One, the threat of Iran rushing to weaponize their enriched uranium to make atomic bombs.
This is exactly what George W. Bush said when we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, by the way.
With a specific and declared intent to destroy us. Second, a rush to increase their ballistic missile arsenal into the capacity that they would have 3,600 weapons a year, new weapons, within 3 years, 10,000 ballistic missiles, each one weighing a ton, coming in at Mach 6, right into our cities, as you saw today. And then in 6 years, 20.
You know what this is? I'll tell you what this is. This is, if I slapped you, boom! And you go, dude, you fucking slapped me. And I go, yeah, well, I could tell you were about to hit me. You went, fuck you, and you punched me. And I went, see? I fucking told you, this guy is out of control. I'm gonna beat the piss out of him. And you're like, bro, you fucking hit me. What are we talking about? And then I go, yeah, well, I think you were gonna stab me because you got a weapon of mass destruction. You go, brother, you have no proof I have a weapon. What are you talking about? I go, swear to God, this guy's making a knife. He was gonna have a knife next week. What are we talking about?
1,000. That's no country can sustain that, and certainly not a country the size of Israel. So we had to act. It was the 12th hour. We did act to save ourselves, but also, I think, to not only protect ourselves, but protect the world from.
I have a theory, too, which is that, thank you for the $5. I think that Netanyahu knows he's coming to an end with the whole genocide he's committing on the Palestinians. That the Palestinians are either all going to die or this whole thing is going to end and Israel's going to have to pull out. Netanyahu knows that if there's no conflict, he will be removed from office and he will be tried as a war criminal. So he's just starting a new conflict so he could stay in power. Be like, oh, guys, you can't let me out now. We're in the middle of a fucking war. I actually think this selfish piece of shit is doing this so he could fucking stay in power.
This incendiary regime.
This
We
is
can't
a
have the world's
really-
most dangerous regime have the world's most dangerous weapons.
We can't have the world's most dangerous regime have the world's most dangerous weapons. I couldn't have said it better myself, BB. Which is why you should be forced to give up all of your nuclear weapons. Because you are, by far, the most dangerous regime on planet Earth. Your nation most resembles Nazi Germany out of any nation on Earth. You have an active apartheid. You are currently committing a genocide and using starvation as a weapon. You control an open-air prison that has 2.3 million people in it. You think you are the chosen one sent by God. Brother, what are we talking about? Anyway, listen, this is a really long fucking interview, Brett Breyer. You can go check it out yourself if you want, because we are not going to watch this entire fucking thing. But if you really like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you're watching this live, you stay. We're not ending this yet. But again, if you're watching this pre-recorded, you can help me out financially by becoming a member, becoming a patron, buying merch, and using the discount code for Ground News in the description. Other than that, click that video right over there. I promise you, it's a banger. And I know bangers.